Hey everyone, part two. I'm going to try to do this as non-long story as I can, and non-stuttery, which I'm not off to a great start with as I can. But this is a little bit about how I feel like I saved my life, not to be dramatic. So, like I said, I had 2 out of 4 lymph nodes pop positive after a mini surgery I had 2 weeks before my mastectomy. They took 4 lymph nodes completely out and cut them open and looked inside. And the one that was originally biopsied before treatment that we knew had cancer was taken out, and then the 3 around it. So that one still had an active macrometastasis, which is anything over 4 millimeters. And another one had lots of, I forget what they call it, THC, TLC, I don't know. It's a pop group or cancer, one or the other. But it's basically like clusters of cells, of active growing cancer cells, pre-tumor in the other one. So I guess this happens in about 70% of patients who have had neoadjuvant chemo, which means chemo before surgery. This happens in about 70% of breast cancer patients that have hormone positive cancer, HER2 negative. And so I'm not alone, and that's something I have to remind myself of constantly. But if you are one of that 70%, you're like up to 90% likely that all of the lymph nodes that had cancer before chemo still have cancer. So what they do is they go back and they do what's called a full lymph node dissection, and that's where they take out like all the lymph nodes in that zone. So the surgeon calls and tells me that's her plan, no worries. Hang up, say okay, and I'm actually like driving on my way to her office to meet with the PA to take my drains out from that surgery. And it occurs to me, oh yeah, I had those 2 lymph nodes that popped positive on a PET scan before treatment in my subpectoral region. And that's what upstaged me from 2A to 3C. Are they going to address that? So I get to the doctors and I ask them, and the PA spends like 15 minutes telling me, no, you don't want that. And I'm like, I don't want any of this, but let's cut out the cancer. And I kind of push back way more than I'm ever comfortable really doing. And she leaves the room. I say, please, please, please tell the surgeon. Well, thankfully I had a complication taking the drains out. The surgeon had to pop her head in to see if I needed stitches. And she immediately says, I hear you're worried about this. I am going to take out what I can of your subpectoral lymph nodes too, and we'll take a look at them. So super happy with that answer. And then she tells me, I'm so sorry, I was only looking at your MRIs. So an MRI shows you a picture of the different kind of tissue, where a PET scan takes a picture, but then they also inject you with a sugar compound. And because cancerous tumors are known to like take up sugar faster than other tissue, they take a really fast picture, and anything that's taken up sugar kind of lights up and tells us that's probably an area of concern or likely cancer if there's known cancer already. Where an MRI, you might get contrast injected into you, which shows blood flow, but it doesn't indicate necessarily cancer. It just kind of shows different sizes and blood flow of tissue. So had I not been the person who looks at every single report and Googles everything and then asks the doctor and writes it all down and tracks everything, like this probably would have been missed. Unfortunately, our doctors are wonderful, and my team is amazing, including my surgeon. But they're human, and there's so much nuance with all of this, and they have so many patients, right? So just like, can you just imagine how full their brains are? That if I had not remembered that, this would have been missed. I would have kept actively cancerous lymph nodes after surgery, and either had it been brought back or had a higher chance of reoccurrence. And I just have been so grateful to myself, to my surgeon for being understanding, I've just been so grateful. So my message to you is, read all your reports, ask questions until you understand exactly what's going on with you. Do not let up and do not feel bad. I hear a lot of patients, peers say, well, I'm not a doctor. No, you're not, but it doesn't mean you don't get to understand your body and your diagnosis as well as a doctor. It is their job to continue to re-explain, to draw pictures, to write it out, whatever you need, until you know what's going on with your body, because nobody's going to track it better than you. So it's another advocate for yourself video. I'm probably not going to let up anytime soon. Keep asking questions, keep pushing, keep learning more about your body specifically. And yeah, that's what I've got for you. So I'm post-mastectomy now. I'll tell you more about that later. Bye, everyone.